Guys, this is one of my first videos ever, starting out, kind of showing some bike stuff that I have done and showing you how, if you want to do a budget build and make your own suicide shift, jockey shift, whatever you want to call it, and a foot clutch, how easy and cheap it is. First, I'll start off with actually the easiest part, was making the jockey shift itself. I already had forward controls, and the inner shifter lever, it's kind of short and stubby. I took that, flipped it up, and the rod I had sitting around here, it's actually a jack rod for taking a spare tire down, like an extension. Obviously, it's just a hammer axe head that I had laying around. The rod itself had a hole in there, and it's hollow. I shouldn't really call it a rod, it's a tube. It's hollow, and it fit right over that inner shifter lever, about perfect. And the inner shifter lever obviously has a threaded hole in it, so when I shoved that tube over it, I just threaded that bolt right in there. Boom, perfect. Painted that orange and painted everything kind of black there, and sat on it and kind of felt where it felt comfortable at. Had to manipulate the tube a little bit so it didn't slap against the tank going down the road, because I know a lot of the kits, they have a bracket system that runs out kind of to help keep it secure. Like I said, I didn't want to spend the money for that, so this is just stuff I had laying around. It worked out perfectly. Now, when it came to the foot clutch, I really wanted that, but I didn't know how I was going to do it myself. I knew I wanted to use the old shifter lever, obviously, but I didn't know how I was going to run the clutch cable, where I was going to find one that's short, how I would, if I was going to use the full length, which this has 8 hangers on it, so obviously it's about 800 foot long, and was I going to be able to wrap it around and make some apparatus, because I knew I had to pull that way, obviously. And I came to the conclusion that I needed a shorter clutch cable, obviously. But I didn't know where I was going to find one about 16 inches long or so that would fit and work for a Harley. Obviously, there's probably someone out there that makes one, but I wanted to try to do it myself. And I got on YouTube, and there's a couple gentlemen on there showing how they were shortening up throttle cables and things like that, and how easy it was. And I watched a couple of those tutorial videos, and bam, it wasn't really that hard. All I did was took my old clutch cable, I snipped it about the length where I wanted it, and this is actually a round loop that sits up on the handlebars on the lever there, that pin runs through there, and I drilled a hole on the back side of that. I can put all the information in the comments below on the size of the hole and all that. I just found the dimension of the cable and went a little bit bigger than that, obviously, and so I could slide it through there. And I had to get some 60-40 shoot, no, I can't think, solder, sorry about that, because you need something with some lead in it. And I got some flux, and I just shoved the cable through the loop, and I frayed it out the top, and I soldered the top side of the cable. Like I said, you gotta fray it out so it can get down in there and get embed down into that cable real good, so it doesn't pull back through that loop. Because technically I didn't solder it to the loop, I just pretty much soldered the top side of the cable so it can't pull back through. And I haven't had any issues yet, and you can't go too far, and it shifts real good, real smooth. It's hard to get used to if you've never had a foot cable. I haven't killed it yet, but I've almost wrecked a couple times, not gonna lie, especially getting into a tight spot and you gotta lean left a little to turn, and it's tough because you can't put your left leg down. And even if you have it in your head that this is your clutch, you're always still trying to grab with your left hand. You want to, it's just natural. Back to on the budget here. Literally, I had this stuff laying around. I already had forward controls. This is my brother's old bike. I bought it. I'm not into Sportsters, but he sold it, and I really didn't think that it should be out of the family. It was his first Harley, and it's an 883 with 1200 heads on it, and I've been kind of doing a little bit of custom stuff myself. I mean, this isn't really crazy custom, but it's cheap and it's neat, because if you've always wanted something like this, but you're like, God, I just don't really want to spend the money, and I think I can do it myself. You can. If I can do it, anyone can do it. And if you guys want me to make a video on how to do the clutch cable, it's slick, it's simple. And on these Sportsters, it's real easy, because it runs right out perfect. Now, on my big twin bikes, obviously I'm probably not going to do this. Those are a lot nicer bikes than this cheap Sportster. But, you know, if you want a bobber and all the crazy dumb things, you know, and you can do it yourself real easy. I'll make some other videos on how I painted the rims. They turned out pretty neat, and did it all myself. Made my own seat. Real easy to do. I'm going to make a video about that. But first, if you're wanting a budget suicide shifter with a foot clutch, don't be intimidated by it, especially if you have a Sportster and you have forward controls. It's simple. Cheap. But if you want more information on this, let me know in the comments, and I can show you more in depth on how I exactly did that. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and hope you enjoy it. And there's going to be a lot more videos of this bike coming out. And like I said, I'm new to the whole YouTube deal, so a little nervous trying to explain everything. But talk to you later, guys. Bye.